As Samuel grew up in the house of the Lord was with him, preparing him to become a leader and judge of Israel one day. Eventually, Eli the priest passed away along with his 2 sons. His sons had been very evil and did not honor God and His commandments. Because of their evil actions, not one male descendant of Eli's family lived to reach old age. After the death of Eli and throughout Samuel's lifetime, the hand of the Lord was against all the enemies of the Israelites. The Israelites lived in peace through Samuel's strong leadership and devotion to the Lord. When Samuel grew old, he appointed his own sons as judges for Israel. But just as Eli's sons did not follow in the Lord's ways, neither did Samuel's sons. They were dishonest and could not be trusted. So all the elders of Israel met with Samuel and said, "You are old, and your sons do not walk in the ways of God as you do. We want you to appoint a king to lead us, like all the other nations." This disturbed Samuel, so he went before the Lord in prayer. God said to Samuel,
"Listen to what the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected. They have rejected me as their king. They have forsaken me and served other gods from the day I brought them out of Egypt until today. Listen to them, but sternly warn them what the king will do to them."
Samuel went back to the elders of Israel and told them what the Lord had said. He warned them what a king who reigned over them would do. "A king will take your sons, and they will drive his chariots and become his horsemen. He will make them commanders over thousands and fifties. They will make weapons for war for him and equipment for his chariots. Some will plow his fields and reap his harvest. Your daughters will be put to work for him as well. They will bake and cook and do other household tasks. The king will take the best of your fields, vineyards, and olive groves. He will take 1/10 of your grain and wine, as well as your cattle and donkeys and flocks. You yourselves will become his slaves. When that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen, and the Lord will not answer you in that day." But the people of Israel were a very stubborn and rebellious people and refused to listen to Samuel. They said, "No, we want a king over us. Then we can be like all the other nations, with a king to lead us and fight our battles." When Samuel heard what the people said, he repeated it to the Lord. Then the Lord answered,
"Listen to them and give them a king."
The Lord revealed to Samuel that he was going to send a man from the tribe of Benjamin for him to crown as king. The very next day, Samuel saw a man walking toward him, and the Lord said to him,
"That is the man that I spoke to you about. He will rule over my people."
The man's name was Saul, and he had no idea of the Lord's plan. In fact, he and his servant were just out searching for some donkeys that had gone missing from his father's land. When Samuel told Saul the plans of the Lord, he could not believe his ears. He exclaimed, "Sir, I am just a Benjamite from the smallest tribe of Israel. My family is even the smallest family of the tribe of Benjamites. Why would you say such a thing to me?" He could not believe that he would be chosen by the Lord to lead God's people and become king over them. Samuel continued to reassure Saul, and they went and dined together. Afterwards, they went to the rooftop of Samuel's house and talked a very long time. When daybreak came, Samuel called to Saul and told him to wake up and come down from the roof. Then Samuel got a flask of oil, poured it over his head, and said, "The Lord has anointed you ruler over his people. When you leave me today, you will begin to prophesy and be changed into a different person." As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and the Spirit of God came upon him, and he began to prophesy. Samuel summoned all the people of Israel to the Lord at a place called Mizpah. Samuel then told them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought you out of Egypt and out of all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all your calamities and distresses. You insist on having a king. So now I will present one to you." Then Samuel brought forward the tribe of Benjamin in order to present Saul to the people of Israel. But when they looked for him, they could not find him. The Lord spoke and said, "He has hidden himself by all the baggage." The people ran and found him and brought him out. As Saul stood among them, he was a head taller than everyone there. Samuel said to all the people, "Do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the people." Afterwards, the people of Israel all began to shout, "Long live the king! Long live the king!" Therefore, the people confirmed Saul as king before the Lord, and all the Israelites held a great celebration to honor their new king.